Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy is a 2004 American satirical comedy film directed by Adam McKay in his directorial debut, produced by Judd Apatow, starring Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, Paul Rudd, Steve Carell, and David Kushner. This is the first installment in the Anchorman series, and the film is a tongue-in-cheek take on the culture of the 1970s, particularly the new action news format. It portrays a San Diego television station where Ferrell's title character clashes with his new female counterpart. The film made $28.4 million in its opening weekend and a further $90.6 million worldwide in total theatrical run. It was met generally with positive reviews from critics upon release and is now widely regarded as one of the best comedy films of the 2000s. It was ranked at number 100 in Bravo's 100 Funniest Films and number 6 on Time Out's Top 100 Comedy Films of All Time and 113 on Empire's 500 Greatest Movies of All Time. A companion film assembled from outtakes and abandoned subplots, titled Wake Up, Ron Burgundy, The Lost Movie, was released straight to DVD in late 2004. A sequel, Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, was released on December 18, 2013, with Paramount Pictures replacing DreamWorks Pictures as the distributor. The cast includes Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy, an anchorman for a small news station in San Diego called KVWN Channel 4. Christina Applegate as Veronica Corningstone, an intelligent news anchor beside Ron Burgundy for KVWN and Channel 4. Paul Rudd as Brian Fantana, friend, anchorman, and co-worker of Ron Burgundy, known for being a ladies' man. Steve Carell as Brick Tamland, weatherman at KVWN, known for being mentally challenged and part of Ron Burgundy's crew. David Kushner as Champion Champ Kind, a sportscaster at KVWN, comes across as a masculine, sexist, and enthusiastic. Fred Willard as Edward Ed Harkin, the station manager at KVWN. And Vince Vaughn as Wes Mantooth, Ron Burgundy's main rival as a news anchor. Now, initially, Will Ferrell and Adam McKay wanted Ed Harris to play Ed Harkin. The role would eventually go to Fred Willard. Dan Aykroyd was considered for the role of Garth Holiday. Alec Baldwin was considered for the role of Frank Fitchett, and James Spader was considered for the role of Brick Tamland. Bob Odenkirk and Ron Livingston were considered for the role of Brian Fantana, and John C. Reilly was originally considered for the role of Champ Kind. Amy Adams, Leslie Mann, and Maggie Gyllenhaal also auditioned for the role of Veronica Corningstone. While still at Saturday Night Live, Will Ferrell and Adam McKay began working on a script titled August Blowout, which Ferrell would later describe as Glengarry Glen Gross meets a car dealership. Although the script was popular around Hollywood, the resulting movie never got made. McKay had stated the idea for the film that would become Anchorman came about after Will saw an interview with the 70s Anchorman talking about how sexist they were, and it was that tone of voice he loved. An early version of the script was a parody of the disaster film Alive, with a group of news people after Ron Burgundy crashes their plane, stranded in the wilderness trying to make their way back to civilization. A subplot would involve the characters trying to escape from a group of ninja-star wielding orangutans. Adam McKay stated that a version of the script originally included a musical number with sharks. Later, the film's story would change and would be centered around reporters tracking down a clumsy yet elusive group of hippie bank robbers known as the Alarm Clock. This version of the film was met with poor test audience results, and a significant portion of the film was rewritten and reshot to replace the Alarm Clock with the panda story that appears in the final version. The physical appearance of Ron Burgundy character may have been modeled after real-life news anchor Harold Green, who worked at KCST-TV and KG-TV in San Diego during the mid-1970s and early 1980s. Prior to the release of the 2013 sequel to Anchorman, retired news anchor Mort Krim, best known for his work at KYW-TV in Philadelphia, claimed that he was chosen by Ferrell as inspiration for Ron Burgundy. Among Krim's colleagues during his time in Philadelphia was Jessica Savage, who would later go on to a prominent role at NBC News. Savage served as a model for the character of Veronica Corningstone, played by Christina Applegate. Although he does not appear in the final film, John C. Reilly attended an early read-through and impressed Ferrell so much that the part in Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, was developed just for him. He would also later appear in the 2013 sequel. Now, this has been one of my absolute favorite comedies of all time, and one of those movies I can just watch over and over again. From the clips on YouTube to watching the full whole-length movie again, it's just a magnificently hilarious film from start to finish. Will Ferrell is absolutely fantastic in this role as the buffoonish, arrogant and sexist Ron Burgundy, whose every line and facial expression is perfectly on point. I mean, what more can I say about I'm in a glass house of emotion scene after he loses Baxter, his dog? It's pure comedy brilliance. Ferrell has since stated, he's my favorite character I've ever played, if I'd have to choose one. Looking back, that makes it the most satisfying thing I've ever done. He also stated later on that he had no idea that the film would take off like it did, saying, "We have no idea that certain lines would be quoted the way they are, and that the film would just take on life after it left theatres, but thank God it did." For me, I love the 70s settings, the costumes and the wonderful music, and also all the fantastic cameos. I mean, what more can I say about the battle of the news teams? It's just so over the top and silly, and it's just comedy gold. This is just such a clever concept when you look at it, about a woman breaking the glass ceiling in a male-dominated TV news during the 70s, and with its top-notch cast as well, it makes for a comedy classic. Ferrell makes his Anchorman chauvinistic, deluded and ridiculous, but still manages to give him some humanity, and is testament to Ferrell's comic talents and timing that he really pulls it off. Also, the rapport with the rest of the cast is absolutely stunning. Paul Rudd is fantastic as Brian Fontana, the roaming reporter, who 60% of the time, it works every time. A reference to, of course, his Sex Panther perfume. This role shows once again Rudd's versatility as an actor. David Kushner is wonderful as Champ, the sportscaster, who secretly is infatuated with Ron. And what more can I say about Steve Carell as Brick Tamland, one of the stupidest and most vague characters you'll ever hope to see, and Carell pulls it off perfectly with fantastic lines that make me laugh every single time. Christina Applegate plays Veronica Calderstone with perfect comedic timing, and her chemistry with Ferrell is just completely and utterly on point. Fred Willard, even as Ed Hoskin, the station manager, is underrated, and I love his little phone calls that he has with his psychopathic son as he tries to talk him down from various situations. It's so subtle and underdone, but you need to listen out for all these little moments within the film. The little cameos spread throughout the film are just fantastic, from Jack Black to a young Seth Rogen, to Ben Stiller, to Tim Robbins, to even Luke Wilson, who of course loses both arms, particularly hilariously as the bear pulls it off right at the end. It just kills me with laughter every time. This is pure comedy gold, and one of my absolute favourite comedies of all time. Time and time again I can watch this movie, and it always brightens my day. From its fantastic 70s setting, to its attention to detail in terms of comedic timing, from its wonderful over-the-top aspects, with a stunning cast, fantastic music, and frankly, irreverent, feel-good comedy. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy gets a 10 out of 10.